What's good, everybody? Welcome to my live, whether you're watching it on the replay or on the current play. I am here to transform my nails. It has been 6 weeks and 3 days, and as you can see, my grow out is pretty serious. I am truly hoping that my camera this time around stops messing around, and I'm hoping that I can get or capture some properness here because this is going to bother me. But anyways, we're still here to do this, so let's make this happen. So here is my grow out after 6 weeks and 3 days. You can see, oh gosh, I am really trying to find a way to make this camera work because I don't know why it's not. But here, you can see my grow out after that much time is quite significant. There's a gap between the space where I ended and the new growth, and that is typical when you allow your nails to grow out for this amount of time. So this has to be refreshed. Basically, I will take down my length. They are a little bit too long for me at the moment. And then after I take my length down, I am going to probably keep the same shape, maybe adjust it a little bit, but if you hear noises in my background, please forgive me. And also, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat because at the moment, that's the only way I'm going to see them. So let's see if we can get this started. I don't want to take too long today. I just want to make sure you can see well. That is most important. So I'm going to readjust this camera slightly, hold this down, and hope my visuals are decent. Okay, I think that can work. All right, so we're going to take these down since they're that old and give myself a fresh set of nails because it's time. It's been too long. Tools that I'm working with today, cuticle pusher. I'm going to use a ceramic bit. I'm going to use a cuticle bit. This is going to go around this area. This is going to be the major takedown. And I have these bits work with my e-file. I also have a hand file. And essentially those are going to be my tools that I'm using for today. I do not want this to be a long process. I got things to do and I'm tired. So let's see what happens. I hope everybody's doing well also. I have been doing my best to start back on my content creation. It has been a bit slow, but I did drop a new video recently. I had to build a new vanity, y'all. And I don't know if anybody else has to build a new vanity. I'll probably talk about it again later, but that ish ain't easy. All right, so let's get started. We are going to begin by pushing back. No, not a lot. First thing we do, before we do anything, we spray down our hands with alcohol, even if they were washed. When someone comes through, this is what they get. Sprayed down with alcohol to help sanitize the working surface and to minimize any issues related to germy germs. So spray your hands down with alcohol, okay? Start there. This is also my nail fan. It's another tool that I use. It helps to keep the dust at minimal. So know that that is what that is for. You'll see it in quite a few of my videos because I do use it quite regularly. And it is extremely helpful to me. So I do have that going there. All right. What do I want to do next? Next, I want to push back my cuticles. So the first thing we are going to do, all right, I got this in the background. I know we're rocking. Here we go. All right, so pushing back your cuticles. Basically, this is a cuticle pusher. It has two ends, a scraper end and a pusher end. And usually these line up with the way that your cuticles are, so you can just gently push back your cuticles like so. Here's me hoping this visual is good. So I'm just gently pushing back my cuticles that you don't have to be rough. It's your skin. Take gentle care. It is very delicate here too, so you don't want to press too hard. And hopefully you can see, let me see if I can zoom in. Do you see all of that yuck that's picking up? That's all dead skin from over the past couple of weeks of buildup. So that is what you're freeing up when you're pushing your cuticles back so you can clean that area. Okay, I'm gonna head over to my other hand. I'm not very good with my non-dominant hand. It doesn't matter how many years I've been doing my own nails. It just don't work sometimes. All right. So pushing back the cuticles. I do apologize if this video is not proper, meaning the quality, mind you, I'm using an iPhone 16 Pro Max. You know, the toppest of the top. Yet, it don't want to work for me. So, we're going to have to just hope for the best, okay? So, push back the cuticles. It also, by the way, when you do push them back, you give yourself a little bit more surface space to work on. So, most definitely, push your cuticles back, okay? Let me edit something here. Okay, there we go. All right. So, cuticles push back. Good to go. Next, sorry, I think I had set that setting from before and I had to fix it. Fan goes on. I'm hoping you can still hear me because sometimes the fan does get extremely loud. I'm turn up my volume. I do have an air conditioner. Can you all hear me? All right. How's that volume? Let's test it with the fan all the way up. Let me see if that makes it any better. Nah, it's kind of loud. All right. I'm going to try to turn the fan down, even though I like it at full blast, but whatever. We're going to keep going. So I'm running my objective is to take this down using my e-file. So all I'm going to do is start by basically attacking the nail. I'm allowing the e-file to run at a very quick speed, and I'm just gently going at the tip of the nail. Usually I try to come in from the side, and I don't like it to be beating or, as you see, skipping. So in order to avoid that, I just then go from the surface, or I don't approach it directly, don't go head on. The acrylic that I did last when I did these nails, it's all white underneath. So there's two things. I don't necessarily have to remove all of the acrylic that I previously had because I'm going to need something to build off of. But I want to remove as much of it as possible. If you're going to be using a nail polish color, you're going to be covering the acrylic anyway. So it doesn't really matter like what it won't matter what the underneath color is because you're going to be using polished color on top. But if you're not using a polished color on top and you're just going to use a top coat, then you have to make sure that your foundation color on your acrylic is proper. So that's a tip for you to know when you're using your acrylic. Okay. It's gonna probably look a little bit misshapen when you're taking work down after a period of time, and that's okay. Let it, because you're just gonna come back in and fix it up in the end, and you can reshape it after. I'm gonna give a little bit of a reshape with the e-file, but essentially I'll be using my hand file to finish that shaping process, okay? So, boom, that's done. This is my next nail. So usually I try to take the length down first, or take the length down just a little bit. And once I do, then I come in and take off the surface. And this is essentially what I'm gonna do and repeat for all of my nails. The ceramic bit that I'm using is very necessary in terms of, oh no, sorry, not necessary. The ceramic bit that I'm using is very helpful for removal. It doesn't cut, thankfully, so I can use it. If I touch it accidentally on my skin, it will not uh, cut me necessarily, as long as you're careful. Hey, Nails Adore, welcome, welcome. How are you? Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well, and I enjoyed your live last night. I really did enjoy those nails. You can kindly let me know if my volume is okay, because I had to turn down my fan a little bit, and I'm hoping my visual is good too, but it is what it is. But yeah, these nails are 6 weeks and like 3, 4 days old. I've been trying to remember over the past couple of days, but they are old. All right. So, and again, because I knew I was damaging myself by way of banging my nails about over the last couple, especially the last 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on, but I've been mashing up my fingers, like pushing them into stuff, and it's caused some drama on my nail surface. So, right now, the intention for me is to just free up my nail as best as possible so that I can shorten it and alleviate any of that damage tension that occurred. I would not recommend letting 6 weeks go by before you do your nails because, as you can see, it's basically gonna require you to do more work than you would have to do if you had just let 2 weeks or 3 weeks go by, clearly, because there's so much more growth. So be mindful of that. Like if you do your nails, you should be maintaining them on a regular basis, um, or at a consistent interval so that you do not allow yourself to have to do so much work on the back end afterwards. I'm going to be doing pastel colors today. If you guys have any color suggestions, I got one already who said they wanted to see like spring colors. I'm going to start a poll in a second to ask what colors should I do. So I'm just using my e-file to help me kind of pre-shape. And this nail gets too long, so let me take it all the way down. I do a lot of typing in my day, guys, so I don't like to have my nails too long. You know, keyboard aesthetics. Okay, I had some damage on this one, so I just want to make sure I take off as much of the old acrylic as possible to make sure I don't have no injury. That is something that is important to track when you let your nails grow out for too long, that you didn't actually damage your own nail underneath the acrylic. So I'm going to take my edge down as much as possible. and let the bit do the work. You do not have to press hard. You don't have to struggle to get it to come down. Just run the bit around the area slowly and gently and let it do its thing. You don't have to overdo it, okay? I like using this bit because it has like a cone shaped head, so I can kind of get into some of these areas without digging. And I would prefer that because it allows you to get right up in there. Whew. Yes, I don't get to turn my fan all the way up, and as a result, it's extra dusty. But you know what? That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make for y'all because I want to make sure you can hear at least the explanations, if not anything else. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's turn this up. All right. So let's keep going to get these things taken down. I'm not pressing hard. I'm letting the e-file do all the work. At the same time, I'm gently shaping back the way that I'm going to want my nails to be. Removing the underneath. That's what it looks like. There's no, it's not nasty or dirty, or that's how you know you're keeping your nails proper underneath side. Like I shouldn't be able to show you the underneath of my nails. It shouldn't be looking like, crusty and jagged or dirty. That's called skipping. When your e-file butts up against your nail like that and bounces off. Try to make sure your hands are stable when you're working with an e-file. You don't want to be having your hands flip-flopping and slipping. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not using this ceramic bit for removing my nails, the old nail stuff. I'm not using it on my natural nails. I'm strictly using it on the area that had the acrylic. And that's important because this bit is not meant to work on natural nails. Okay? You also, if you're like left-handed or right-handed, whatever the case, whatever bit you're using, you want to make sure it can work in both directions because they do have bits that are just left-handed or just right-handed, depending on what, your orientation is. But if you're going to work on yourself, it's good to have bits that can work in both directions so you don't have to keep switching while you're working, or you don't have to work like one hand at a time or whatever. Angle your e-file in different directions. You're holding it in one way is not always going to get the area that you want. Turn the nail over, look at it from different sides. If you always only approach it from one direction, you're not going to see if there are imperfections or areas that need to be fixed. So it's important to always look at the nail all around, okay? Alright. That hand is done. When you're taking or when you're removing old work, don't stress yourself about if you got every last little piece because you don't need to. You're about to go over these nails maybe another two, maybe, well, you'll go over the full surface at least another one time, but you're going to do other areas another time or two. So don't trip yourself out about like it being absolutely perfect or you getting every last piece or every last bit because you're going to pass back over this nail a few times. So you'll get it all throughout each stage of the process. Stage one is just the removal. I'm a little slower on my non-dominant hand because I am not left-handed and that's what I'm using right now. So forgive me if the angles are a little bit more wonky. But also, did you notice like despite the fact that this was a white acrylic, I used just a clear top coat and it's not really dingy after 6 weeks. Like it's not dirty, dusty. It didn't look like, discolored. So that's a bonus. That's how you know you have good products. If after 6 weeks of use you still have a good portion of that white color when you're using a white polish, yeah, winning. All right. Non-dominant hand, as I said, I'm not so great, so it's not going to be as smooth. Please forgive us, sister. To be honest, I know I'm overdoing it here, and I should move on, but I have a little bit right there that I'm trying to get. All right, there we go. Got it. All right. All right, that's good. For the most part, you see right there, I'm going to get that when I do with the other bits, my arbor bands with my nail, my light file. That'll be easier for me to catch, so I'll do that after. I'll move on. Notice that even though I'm using my opposite hand, I'm still using the parts of the drill barrel that are required to, remove the acrylic from each area. So if I'm going down the middle of the nail, I'm using the middle of the barrel. If I'm going down the side of the nail, I'm aiming with one side or the other. That's important because you don't want to be hitting the nail with the wrong part of the barrel and then you're constantly going over and over and not getting the area you need. So just be mindful of that when you're working with the e-file. Ooh, right. If you've never done your nails before and you want to start learning, it's not hard to do, guys. Having the right tools, you don't even need all the fancy tools. You can work with a hand file to do half of what people do, to be honest, where it all started to begin with before the e-file was invented. So it's not like it's not doable. It's just, it'll take a little bit more time. And then once you hone your skill, you'll be able to even reduce your time further. I like to grow my nails out, but when I do, the length doesn't hold because I don't have the strength for some reason. So, what I will do is overlay my natural nails or my overlay my nails with acrylic, and that way it gives them a small enhancement. Now, you'll hear me say happy, healthy nails or natural nails with acrylic overlay. Anything that is added to a nail is an enhancement, whether it is a polish, whether it is an acrylic, a gel, whatever. They're all enhancements. So anytime you put something on top of your natural nail, yes, even a polish, it's considered an enhancement because you're enhancing your natural nail. And so enhancements can help to uh, improve the strength of your nail, change the look a little bit, give you some structure. If you don't have, give you some light if you want. Enhancements can do a variety of things. And as long as the enhancements are applied properly, you don't have to worry about the type that you get because then everybody is good. So there we go. Okay, so even after 6 weeks, you'll see the white wasn't like dingy, it wasn't stained, it wasn't crusty. The white can actually probably still go. If I didn't have the chance to do my nails today, the next opportunity I would have received was like maybe Wednesday. And I think my nails could have held it till then, but just don't want them to because, damage. I don't have a stable space for my other hand, so my e-file is bouncing everywhere. But I'll use my finger to hold my hand, and then I can easily swivel my e-file. There's no perfection, there's no right or wrong. As long as you're working towards reducing the removal of the old work, that's the objective here. All right. Whew. Let's find an angle. And sometimes if the file doesn't move the way you want to, move your finger. Like that can work too. And don't stress what it looks like in the process if it looks jagged and stuff, like at the end of the day, you're gonna reshape it. So what it looks like now is not gonna be the finished product. Trust the process. I'm trying to get this thing. Anybody that's tuning in, I do hope you're doing well. Not sure what the weather is like for you, but we just came out of an ice storm warning, which in itself was an interesting. It gave for a very interesting weekend. Let's just say that. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of that with my other done. So I'm gonna allow it. Actually, need to turn that off. And as you work, make sure you wipe the dust away, guys. It's important to not have, dusty, crusty all over the place. Just keep your space to yourself so you can always kind of see what you're doing. If you don't clean the dust away, then how do you know what to hit next, right? Okay, so after I did that, I'm going to now do my cuticle area. My nail is looking very chacky. You see that? Yeah. That's it. Anyways, my cuticle area is going to be done with this pretty bit because I like it a lot. It's so helpful. Okay, same thing. The sucker, you don't want to run it too high in terms of speed, but I'm just coming through with it and going around my cuticle area like so. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just gently going over the surface. And this is to get into my little back area space where all that dead skin was when I pushed the cuticle back and to clean that out. I'm not pressing hard. I'm not going fast. I'm just slowly letting the bit do the work. You don't have to run it around too many times. You're also going to be using your arbor band. So again, this is just to get really in there where the arbor band can't necessarily go, especially underneath the skin there. So boom. And for me, some of my nails, like this one in particular, I get extra buildup in these corners for some reason. So I make sure I get right in there and clean them up. And this is also why you always hear them say to dust away, because look, I'm getting right underneath. I don't want to be applying a product to my hand and then there's beer dust underneath, because it's not going to hold, right? So that's important. So just dust everything away, and you can see there's slight difference between um, how it was and how it is. Oops. Okay, let me switch up here. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side next. And we're gonna run this e-file in reverse. So it's gonna go in the opposite direction. Before it was going like this. Now it's gonna go this way. We don't need to run it too high in terms of the speed. I am a little bit more careful just because this does have a pointy tip, and the last thing I want to do is like dig into underneath that skin way too far. So you got to be careful. It's just meant to go right under the surface, not to dig in there. This is my crustiest nail. Always this one has weird growth. One time I had a hangnail in here, believe it or not, like what, 7 years ago when I started nail school, and I pulled it, and that ish has never been the same since that hangnail pull. Crazy. You have to redo your nails every so often because if they grow out, they're going to get out of balance. And when they get out of balance, they're not stable and they won't hold the strength. Then it will cause you more damage and it can break and split and crack and all of that stuff. So you got to make sure you're not waiting too long in between getting your nails done. Even if it's just an overlay on top of your nail, as your nail grows out, where that overlay was or where that product was, it's now a weight. It's more weight than your nail can handle. So make sure regular interval removals are done because if not, you're gonna mash up yourself and you don't want to do that, yo. Next is gonna be the Arbor Band. Um, Arbor Band I'm gonna be using as a fine one. Before I use it, I make sure I score it, meaning I dull it down because I do not want to cut myself because this can actually cut you in your skin, especially in your cuticle area where it's very delicate. So I am going to score my Arbor Band, which means dull it down. I don't need to run this at an extremely high speed, like be gentle. You're using it on your natural skin. Because I went over with the other cuticle bit, I don't need to go too tough into the back with the Arbor Band, but I do need to kind of go around just as like a little bit of a back cleanup. And then I'm going to also just go over the surface to smooth out all the roughness that just happened from the renewal. And I'm going to use this to help me pick up or remove any of that excess that was in this area by the cuticle that grew out that may be lifting that I wasn't able to get with the big bit, the ceramic bit that I used first. Okay, so multiple steps will help multiple things get done. And in this stage, my most important thing is to just kind of level off the surface so that I can now apply some new products after doing all of that cleaning work. I'm also trying to make sure you can see what I can see, but that is what we're doing at this stage. This is also the stage where if I'm using acrylic, which today I am, as an overlay, I'm going to turn on my warmer so that my acrylic, my nail liquid can get warm. And I want that because I want to be able to work quickly with the product. And it will have to be warm in order for me to do so. If you work with cold product, it doesn't dry fast enough. So I'm going to go around the cuticle area first, very so gently because I just kind of did it already with the cuticle bit. And then after, I'm going to come back over my nail with the file like so to kind of smooth it out from all the roughness. I'm going to make sure those very, very edge areas, if there's any little pieces that look a little off colored or white, they're removed because that could be an indication of some slight lifting. Um, I do hope the camera is not giving bad visuals, y'all. Hey, Nails Adora, I'm okay. How are you? I saw you jumped on there and I was like, oh, did she leave? But I'm doing good. Just trying to get these nails done quickly before I have to go on the road because they are way overdue. Happy Sunday. They are way, way, way overdue. All right, here we go. So again, around the cuticle area, my e-file is not moving very fast. Um, well, no worries. I hope you're doing well today. We were dealing with a potential ice storm, but that's now apparently cleared out. So we're in the clear.
It's very rainy weather today. No better time to do my nails. Oh, that sounds awesome. I don't have daughters, so I'm not really out into that. But with a Transformers thing, I'd be there in a minute. I might watch that at home. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I, I I've heard mixed reviews. I don't know really what all the controversy is about, but I truly hope you guys enjoy it together. It's a nice bonding time. I do hope she enjoys it for real. You too. Get out of the house, go do something different. Good for bonding time. At least you guys, she's excited, so that's what matters most, right? She's gonna enjoy it, especially because she really wants to see it. So I hope she has a good time. All right, so I'm just again letting the bit do the work over the surface. I just want to make it smooth from all of that roughness that I was doing with the other bit. You can do this with a hand file also. I'm just used to using my e-file, so I prefer it. But if you want to, this is also possible just with a hand file. You don't have to have fancy tools just to do this, okay? It is. So you know what I learned recently that I didn't know? I didn't realize. So like my primary theater, I think is a Cineplex right now. So I thought like you can get your butter on your popcorn at the counter when you buy it, right? But then when you go to like get your napkins and whatever on the side, there's the little pump thing, and then you pump what I thought was butter onto the popcorn. I just learned that is not actually butter, and it's actually butter flavored oil. But yo, that tastes better sometimes than the actual butter. So I was like, well, I'll be damned. I did not know that it wasn't butter this whole time. It is apparently butter flavored oil. But if you do want butter, you get it, but you get it from the people behind the counter, not at the stand on the side, because yeah, that wouldn't make sense. That was something that I learned. Yep. And then I had to double check because I was like, no way. It's impossible. This whole time I thought I was, adding extra butter when in fact I wasn't. I was just adding extra butter oil. It's all good though. Still tastes great. All right, we're gonna go around and do the other side. I switched directions and I really suck at this, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not sure why, even after doing nails for so many years, this still is not like second nature, but whatever. It just is what it is. At least my memory muscle still works to a degree. And also the thing with using an arbor band or an e-file like this, you never want to let it sit and linger in one space for too long, meaning you don't want to let it just sit there and run like this because you're just going to run up yourself. That's how you get burnt. Don't do that. It has to stay moving. Even if it's small movements, it has to stay moving so that it doesn't hurt you or burn you. All right. I hope you enjoy. We'll see you, okay? Take care, hun. So yeah, don't let it sit for too long on your nail when you are working with the e-file. because it's I don't know, it'll burn you. It'll actually damage your nail. Sometimes people press too hard, and that's even how they get rings of fire. So, and rings of fire when you see the nails grow and it has those lines by the cuticle line area. You do not want those. They are not okay. All right, let me run this through. Okay, and I'm good with this one. Okay, see how crusty that looks? Let's see what we can do about cleaning it up. Let's see. See the difference? Even though it is ever so slight, you can see the difference already. Hmm. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys, this angle is horrible. And if ever again you're working and you find like, okay, what you're trying to do is not working out with the tool you're using, try another tool. You don't have to like keep going at it with the same thing. If I find I can't get these edges off with my e-file, then I'm just going to use a hand file. You don't have to use one thing to do everything. That's why you see me switching between different types of tools while I'm working. Okay. Almost done. There we go. It's all lifting. That's all the colors. Oh my gosh. I have layers and layers of different colors. You can go back and see them yourselves from the last couple of lives. So I'm definitely going to have some discoloration underneath. And it's not from the nail having an issue, it's legit from the different colors of acrylics I've used over the last little bit. And that's because, again, you can put whatever underneath. If you're covering it with a polish, then you don't really have to care what the underneath looks like because the underneath is just building that foundational platform for it to sit on. Not conventional, y'all, but it works. And when you're doing your own nails, you just work with what works for you. Just how you see other people do it for others, it's not necessarily going to be like that for you. You're not sitting in front of yourself in the way that someone sits directly in front of you to turn your hand to, you know, get your nails done like others. So just do what you can. All right. Next is going to be shaping. So I'm just going to come through and just reshape up the nails the way that I want them to be before I lay down my acrylic. This is where I check like how pointy they are or if they need more point or less point, reshaping them, balancing them back out. That's what this portion is for. So you take your hand file and you do that. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but you need to make sure it's what you want. This is just time to shape. Because if you shape it now, when you're laying down your acrylic, you'll just be putting the acrylic to match the shape. You don't have to recreate any shapes with the acrylic. So it'll be easier to do the job when you have it pre-shaped. Because you could lay it down to match the shape as you have it. You don't need to lay down no thick layer of acrylic either. But like, I want to say what, depending on the nail that you're doing, not even, you don't have to make it thick. Okay? Mm. I always make my nails a lot narrower than they grow. So when they grow back, I always get those edges. I should stop doing that, but it's a preference. I like the look, so I like my nails to be narrow, not wide. Skinny, slender is my look, not thick and bulk. Like one thing I know for certain you will not see on these fingers is duck nails. If I ever did them, I would do them on like a mannequin or something, or on my hand, like a test hand. But I am not a duck nailer. It is not my trend of style. It just doesn't work with using a computer and typing. It's not conducive to that style. While you see I'm shaping, right, I'm going over the sides and the edges. You can also kind of just gently go over the top if you feel like it might need a little bit more smoothing. Don't hesitate. This is the time, if anything, to get all of that in. My file has grits on both sides, so it's multifunctional. That's why you see me changing in different directions because I need one grit for one thing and I need the other grit for another thing. So after that, I can just gently go like this over the surface to finish. All of that excess is now done. I'm more confident that I know I got everything. It's smoothed out. All right. I'm just going across the surface, making it all smooth and even. And this hand is good. Okay, this will be my next side, so I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to shape it up, and then we're going to go over the surface real quick. All right, next side, the non-dom. Yeah, I hate shaping this side. This is probably why people use gel tips that have the shape already, because they don't want to be bothered to do this step. And with full understanding, it can be quite tedious. But if you don't shape it how you want it, it's just going to be wonky, right? So might as well take time to do the shaping. Make your nails look the way you want them to look. Otherwise, why are you doing them? Ooh, see that there? It's a little walk, a little bit too high. There we go. I'll be honest, like with shaping and stuff, sometimes it can be frustrating because like you're striving for the perfect shape. But what I recognize is just like in life, nothing is perfect. So as long as it looks decent to you, as long as it is like symmetrical, then you're good. Like if you're not absolutely perfect in your shaping, nobody is. Um, that's what they build the tips for. You do your best. You look at it from different angles. You check all the sides. You see if it has, like, if it's given the appeal that you want shape wise, and you work with that. Like, you make that into what you need it to be. That's down. If I want to give that little point, what I do is I shave down the top a little bit. Then I come on each side. Don't go too much on one side at a time. Like do one side and then come back and do the other side a couple strokes. Don't like do one side too much because then you might not be able to get the balance back. I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle on this edge because you can see I have that little bit of a very raw nail, meaning there's not much acrylic on there. So it's my natural nail. I'm not gonna be rough when I'm shaping it. I'm gonna go gently. So I don't want to damage my natural nail. And now that that's all done, we're just gonna quickly run over the surface. I basically took all of the white acrylic off of this one, which is so much fun, but whatever, it's all fun. And that again. So this step is only after I've done all the shaping and I'm getting ready to apply my new acrylic. I just want to make sure go through the surface of my nail. It's all even. It's where I need it to be. It's shaped how I want it. It's smooth out and it's going to be ready to receive the new application. Don't be intimidated if you're doing it for the first time. You'll get used to it. It'll get easier as you go. Every day is an opportunity to teach yourself if you're interested like that. And also, practice makes improvements. Don't beat yourself up if your first go around doesn't, it's not ideal. You'll get there. But you gotta put in the work. It's just like making these YouTube videos and running this channel. If I don't show up to my channel, then how's it gonna go? Gotta be here. All right, so whew, let me give it a little baby wash, and you could see what it will look like once we've basically gone through all of that process. So I'm just scrubbing off all the dirt and all of what I just did. And this is a good way to ensure, again, when you go to apply your acrylic, your new acrylic, that your nails don't have dust on them. All right, so boom. I removed the old stuff. I gave them a reshape, and now we are going to give them some fresh overlay. I want to use a milky white color because it's about to be Easter, and milky white for some reason. Okay, let me grab that. Milky white is my color of choice today. So there it is. Okay, I done lost the lid. Where did it go? Alrighty, well, I'll have to find that later because I don't know where it went. All right, so this will be my color for today. Here we go. And I'm using again, milky color, but I might do like, a part of me wants to do like some um, floral inlay. Oh, because of Easter, like, I feel like I want to put something like this in my nails. But at the same time, I'm kind of really lazy and I'm just doing this for maintenance and I don't want to do too much. So, like, what do you think? Should I? Should I take some of these pinkies and put these in? Like, look how pretty these are. Um, hmm. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Should I just, or should I hand draw them with some art or something? Like, that's where I become conflicted sometimes. There's just too much options. It's like, what do I want to do when I'm working on the fly? And then also, like, do I really want to do all of that right now? I don't know. If you're watching, give me some suggestions. Okay. So, I'm just going to, again, quickly, mama, I just banged this finger and it hurts bad. And that's why I need to restabilize it because it's grown out so much and I've banged it so many times that it's ready to like just give away on me. So let me fix this up. I also apply something before I put my acrylic on, which is this product right here. If you want to know what it is, you can ask down below in the comments and I will tell you. But I am not here promoting these companies that are not paying me money and they got brand deals all over this YouTube. I mean, mom is trying to get one. I do speak about this product in other videos though, so you may know what it is. But right now, I'm not going to pay it until they pay me, unless you can see what it is. I'm being mad messy with this too. I shouldn't really, but whatever. You can put this product on your natural nail. You can put it on your enhancement. It works with both. Ooh, this is gonna be my brush today, number 8. All right, my nail liquid is here. It's all nice and warm. It's ready to use. So I'm gonna put that over to the side. So nail liquid, nail powder, and brush, all present, ready to rock. Oh, and I also need a paper towel. Duh. Okay. All right, y'all. So I haven't used this powder in a while. I hope I can adapt to it real quick. It's gonna dry up real quick too. So again, I'm just overlaying my natural nail with acrylic. I don't need it to be a super thick overlay. I just want it to be a surface cover to add some strength to my nail. Earlier, when I said doing your shape now matters, it's because look, you can just lay down the acrylic to go over your shape. So when you're finished, you don't have to worry about over filing and doing all kind of extra work. You'll save yourself a lot of time. Remember to wipe your brush after every application and keep your brush clean as you're working. Okay, so that's finger numero uno. If it is, when you apply it and you think it's looking so thick, don't worry because guess what? I gotta come back and file down just a little bit anyway. It's not gonna be a big filing job, but it will need to be done. That's also probably why you don't see me picking up huge, gigantic acrylic beads because personally, you don't need a lot when you're doing an overlay. It's a small finger. I don't have no big, huge nail beds. So I don't need to pick up a lot of product to cover what I'm doing. And I like to work with small amounts because it just gives me better control. Everybody is different, so you find what works for you, but this works for me. And I'm going to keep at it until it doesn't. And again, because I'm going to be probably covering this with a polish, I don't have to worry about it being even or full coverage. I just need to make, sorry, not even. I don't need to have it like cover my nail like fully and or completely. There we go. There's something in my acrylic there, but I'll get it out after. When I file, I'll get whatever that is out. Okay, that's two. So let's move on. Actually, I'll put just a little tiny bit more. Little tiny bit just to make sure it's covered. All right. Next. And also, this little peak part that you're seeing that looks raised like that, just know that's still acrylic. I didn't take all of the old stuff off. Generally, you don't when you're doing a refill, unless you want a completely refresh nail. But you just take off the surface and what you no longer, the bulk that you don't need, so you could rebuild. You don't need to take off all of it. And that's why it looks like, oh, why does your nail look so raised in that one area? Because there's still acrylic there. I'm not adding acrylic to the new area necessarily. I'm adding it more to the area where there was new growth. So you'll see the tip of the nail where the free edge is, where I just finished doing all the shaping. It's not really getting a whole bunch of the new acrylic. It's just kind of getting what I slide down onto it. And that's because I don't really need to add any to this tip because it already has the previous acrylic. I didn't take it all off. I'm weird like this. I just wanted to all look the same. So I'm not flooding my cuticle area, meaning you're not seeing a whole bunch of acrylic fall into my crease area where I have to wipe it all out. And that's because I'm not using very wet beads or very wet amounts. As you can see, it's not runny. It's not going all over the place. I don't want that when I'm doing my overlays. Some people like it because they like to like let it kind of do its own thing, gravity wise. But for me right now, especially because sometimes my angle, I turn it to the side or whatever, the last thing I want is runny acrylic to be bleeding all up in the place and I can't keep up with it. So I use small amounts and I build slowly but surely to where I want it to be as a final nail. I'll come back like this sometimes just to make sure I even out the top color wise, but I don't necessarily like have to. It's just preference, and when you do your own nails over time, like you'll have your preference for certain things. That's completely good. That's okay. You're allowed to have preference for yourself. Also, I'm making sure my apex area is properly supported with enough acrylic. Even if it's my natural nail, my apex area is essentially right here, which is where I need most of my strength to be. So I make sure that area is not super flat. You got to make sure your apex is strong because if you grow long nails and it's not, your nails are not going to last, yo. They'll mash up and break easy. I hope that was a good angle. Shit. All right, see how I came through. I am gonna again, just because I'm anal and I want to make sure I cover off all of the surface area so that it's all an even color and even look. But it's not really gonna matter because I'm gonna end up covering it anyway. And I also know like my method of application may not be what other people's do. Again, some people like to do the whole beading thing, and that's like where it's at for them. For me, I'm more of a, I don't know what I want to call this. A slip, a wiper, I don't know. A brush on. It's definitely not beading. All right, so that's the first hand, all covered and almost dry too, because again, I heated up my liquid, which allows me to work much faster and I don't have to wait long for the nail to dry. So you can see it's shiny here. This shiny means it's still wet and working its way through to dry. But if you go here and you see how these are matte, these matte ones are already dry, ready to be worked on. So we're gonna move over to the other hand. All right. Oh, let me see something here. So when I do my opposite hand, still a struggle, but me I make it. Me a second. I gotta. Oh, this is what my working tray looks like. Acrylic, brush, liquid. Oop. Okay, gotta switch it to the other side of the table. Okay, and even with all that moving, ain't nothing got messy. And this is kind of why, like, with gel, if you had cured this in the lamp, you would have to wipe the sticky layer off the top. With acrylic, yes, it has a sticky layer when it's wet, but as long as you're not like grinding into something, you're fine. Okay, let's do this hand. For sure, it'll be mad slow because that's just how I work. On the opposite hand, but let's see what we can do. Working on this hand always gives me nerves because the pressure that I apply is not the same because my hand is not the dominant hand. So it always feels like, am I pressing too hard? Am I pressing too soft? Sometimes I don't know. So I just rub until I feel like, okay, time to wipe the brush. And I just make sure the two sides like this are good. I can apply it with it facing towards me. Um, I just feel like when I do it that way, it doesn't cover right. But I'll apply it this way. Like I'll put it down like this. Every time I do that, I notice I'm missing this one little corner. So I'm going to try and come back in that corner with a very small amount of acrylic right in there. There we go. I got that little spot that I was trying to hit. Got another little spot on this side. See how I got a little bit right here on the skin? I'm gonna wipe that away. Ooh, there we go. Then I'm gonna make sure it's down, flat. All right, one down, four to go. And if you're doing something like working with your non-dominant hand, yo, take your time. There's no rush. There's no need to speed. There's no need to, oh, I'm not, no. Just take your time, one finger at a time, one application at a time. Some might wonder, how am I able to wipe so many times without wiping my brush off? I don't know. I can't answer that question. All I can say is it's just what I've learned to do over time. As long as when I put the acrylic on my nail, it drops off the brush, I keep working until I need to wipe my brush. And that's what I've kind of always done. Most people might wipe it like immediately after the drop off. I mean, I could, but it's not, I don't feel like it makes much of a difference for me. So the wipe is to make sure you don't get stuff stuck in your brush, essentially, right? So you want to make sure that when you're applying, you're just not pressing too hard. It's a surface application, and you wipe your brush in between each use. Don't put your brush back in the liquid if it has dirt on it or powder or anything like that, because then it'll get stuck. So when I do this, I'm going to file that side a little bit more because it's a little thicker. I don't mind, but I'm going to fix that up. When you pick up your powder after you've had your brush in the liquid, do not immediately come to your nail with the powder. You got to give it a second to turn over, meaning allowing the liquid to take into the powder before you start putting it on your nail. I'll demonstrate what I mean in a second. But when you, I'm dipping my brush in the liquid, I'm now dipping it in the powder. When it comes back here, until this turns liquid, I'm not putting it on my nail because that means it's not ready. If you do, you're basically going to be just brushing dust and it won't turn over on the nail. So don't do that. Make sure it's turned over first before you start, before you put the brush on the nail. And if you struggle with it, like I said, give it a, I'll show you, and hold on, I'll show you what I mean. So here we go. Well, let's see if I can do this without mashing up myself. All right. When you take your brush and you put it in your liquid, then you put it in your powder. You don't put it right away. You let it turn. I don't know if you can see it turning, but you let it turn. I'll demonstrate one more time. Take your brush, you put it in your liquid. You see how there was powder dropping, but you see it has to turn. Let it turn. You see how it's getting liquidy? Like that. Don't put your stuff on there before it turns or it won't be bead-like to work with, okay? That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me finish up this now. I always add extra supports to the cuticle area because I'm doing my non-dominant hand, and because the way I angle my nail when I'm doing it, I always forget the edges on these ones. So that was just to add the extra support on those edges. And when I apply this new acrylic, I'm applying it just in front of where the old acrylic ends, just where the new growth is starting on my nail. That's where I start. And then I work my way back towards the cuticle area. So it's almost like you're building on top of your own mountain. And you're making the mountain higher in the middle by applying the beads and spreading it forward or over the top of the mountain like this. We don't want to make the mountain flat though. We want the mountain to have a little bit of a hump there. So work towards building that hump by allowing the acrylic to end from this part here and at the middle, like that. So I brought it forward to come to the center, and that's what's evening it out. Now I have a nice little like humpy thing here. That's my apex support. A little acrylic goes a long way too, so you don't need to put a whole bunch or bulk up when you're doing this. When you're filling in small spaces, use small amounts. When you got a large space, see how I have that little see-through area there? I don't like that. So I'm gonna come through, take a little bit, and I'm not just gonna put it in that area. I'm actually gonna start from the base because I want to make sure it's fully covered. I have a tendency again of shorting my sides when I'm doing my non-dominant hand. So in order to ensure I get all the coverage, I'm just gonna come from the base and make sure it comes all the way up. Just so. Still see a little bit of see-through. I should let it dry, but I'm weird, so let's just do it because we can. Right here. And as you can see, it's gone. It's a little uneven, but that's what filing is for. You'll be able to fix that after. My middle finger is looking a little shy. I'm gonna add just a little bit more to my middle finger. Also, those ones I did earlier, look, they're dry. Did I seriously just do that? Dum dum. But yeah, those are dry. I don't have to worry about this because Tuesday, I'm gonna file it anyway. Ah, stop messing with it. Okay, let me leave it alone. I'm gonna file it. So. All right, we are on to the fun. See where my placement was, just below where I started. So it's like you're building on top of that space to make sure you have strength in that region. You don't need to do a thick amount, you don't need to do a lot, just consistency in your build, where you apply it, so it's even all around. And I don't know if you can see how it kind of just melted into itself, but that's what you're looking for when you're doing the application. If you are just starting or learning to do your nails and you think you're going to be able to do it at the speed of the people in the salon, I'm here to tell you that is not going to be the case. There's several reasons. One of the main ones is sometimes they don't even do all the steps that we did when they're doing your nails. Sometimes it's just a simple clean or file around to shape it and then, file to set the tips and then they're good to go. Like there's not a lot of maintenance on the nail side. So because you do proper nail maintenance and you give yourself a proper cuticle cleanup and you give yourself a proper shape and all of that, it will take you a little bit longer. But you should feel no shame in that because you're not rushing the process. You're doing the necessary steps. Sometimes some of these places don't do those steps, and that's why your nails break or chip or crack or the color peels, and because it wasn't properly maintained to begin with, or it didn't start with a good foundation, and that's why your nails are peeling or chipping or cracking. If you take the time to just give yourself a proper foundation, you're winning when it comes to the nail game. You are winning. So don't rush and think, oh, I have to do my nails in 1 hour or I only have to do my nails in 30 minutes. That's all BS. You do your nails in as much time as it takes you, and as long as you're efficient with your process, how much time you take doesn't matter. So don't beat yourself up if you're learning to do nails and it takes you a long time. Everybody has to start somewhere, and that's usually the case where people end up starting and feeling defeated because they feel like they're taking too long. Wanted to put a little bit more in the back there. Now those flowers that I pulled out earlier, If I were to throw those in, I would have done so already, and then I would have came over with a clear and put them on top. But because I already kind of made my nails a little the way that I want them out, thick wise, I am not going to be doing no overlay on top of no inlay on top of my acrylic. It's just no flowers like that. It's just gonna be what it is. Maybe I'll use the blooming gel to do a flower design, but no. After I'm done with my brush, all I'm doing is bringing it back in my acrylic, wiping it a 1-2 time, in my nail liquid, sorry, wiping it a 1-2 time, giving it a 1-2 wipe on the thing, and this sucker gets closed back up, and I'm done. I don't need this anymore. Put that away. That's that's the gist of it. There's no magic to maintaining your acrylic brush, just as long as you keep it clean as you're working. And trust me, I've had that brush for over 8 years. Clean as you go. It's important. I have a container that I put all of the monomer or the nail liquid things into because I don't want it to smell the space up. So I always have it in there. And I'm going to give this hand a second to dry. This hand basically is, while I'm continuing to put stuff away. Cleaning as you go is important too because then it doesn't make your workspace feel overwhelmed. You're able to see everything where it is. But I gotta find the lid for my thing now. I don't know where it went. Oh, what the heck, man? Oh, let's see if I can find it. Hold on. I am literally on the floor on my hands and knees trying to find this ish. And I don't have a big space. Oh, where did it go? It like toppled off of the chair. Oh, whatever. You know what? I'll have to find it later because I'm not tripping about it right now. Some folks said spring color should be on my nails. I don't know if I want to do full color. Um, what's nice for spring? I don't feel like I want to do like full. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. What color should I do? I like the seafoam color. Oh, I like that. Ocean tide is nice. What color? Ooh, I think I'm gonna do this marine, aquamarine gloss. Or tries every time. I don't know. I don't know what color. Oh my god, this is. I don't know what colors to do. Um, pinks and purples, maybe. Blues and greens. Hmm, I think it's gonna be in the blue and green family. Let's start. Let's see. I feel like I want to blend something like these two. Like this is ideal right now. I think that's what we're doing, y'all. We're doing this one and this one. Okay, these are gonna be my color sets. I don't know what I'm doing with it exactly, but that's what it's going to be for now. Maybe I need some white somewhere. Maybe I'll just do like flowers with some blooming gel. How about that? Maybe I'll just do polka dots. Polka dots with some yellows. Oh my gosh, you guys, look, the ideas are coming. Oh, yellow. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna make something happen from the yellow, the blue, and the Tiffany blue. And I will get a, oops, white. Okay, let's see what we can make happen with those colors. That's what I'm going for, y'all. So, while I'm cleaning and doing all of those things, really my nails are just drying. So this is where we're at with regards to um, having it refilled. All the spots are in. I've looked at it from all angles to make sure it's even. What's going to come next is the finish, filing, and then ensuring the shape is cleaned up, and then color, and we're done. I think I want to do flowers, but I don't know. Give me an Easter design, guys. Do I want an Easter design? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Anyways, I don't want to overstress it. I think I might do. Well, I don't. Here's where my conflict comes in with nails. I don't necessarily like to always do color, full color on my nails because I don't want to see it all the time. As sad as that sounds, it's just I don't always want to see the color on my nails. So I'll do accents. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do three stripe accents with the colors that I chose, so that I have part of the nail as still the milky and then part of the nail as color because I don't think I want to do full colored nails. Let me turn this off so you can hear what comes next. I'm checking to make sure these are dry, which I can see they are, but if you're ever not able to see, you can hear too. Look, they make a click sound. Definitely dry. Let's see. See how that sounds more hollow? So those are kind of dry. This one's still not fully, but you hear this? That's what you want. Okay, so I can go ahead and continue working on my nails. They're dry. Now, there's debates over this. Two things. You can do this with a hand file because all I'm doing is finishing the surface. I've laid my acrylic. As you can see, it's not chunky and bulky, so I don't have a whole bunch of it to remove. And I don't want to take too much off of the surface either because I don't want to make the color go away, even though I'm covering it. So I think I'm going to do a hand file, which is just a quick way to just finish what the work that you just did. So I'm just going to shape it back out properly. I'm going to come over my surface, especially my cuticles, because I want to seal them in. I could do this with the e-file again, but I'm just going to do it with the hand file. And then I'm also going to just gently go over the surface of the nail like so to rough it up to receive the polish when I'm ready. So this is like what you call finish filing your nail. After you've laid your acrylic, you have it the way you want it, you could finish file it in this manner. You're not taking off too much. Sometimes if you use the hand file, I'll show you in a second, hold on. I might do both. But sometimes if you use the e-file, if you do the speed too fast, which some people do because they think, oh, I've added acrylic, so I have to go faster, then you rub off all of the work that you just did. You don't want that. So I'm going to just use the hand file for now. See how we do. It will take a little bit longer, but I think Essentially, you're going to have to come back to the hand file anyway, because you're going to need it to, again, go over the surface and to shape the edges, the free edge, just perfectly or just the way you want it. So if you start with the hand file, finish with the hand file, e-file, you can switch back and forth. I'm doing this for demonstration too because I always tell people they can use a hand file, but I don't really show. So I want to make sure I demonstrate. You can do both. Okay. Bring that shape again back into alignment. Make sure it's clean. And if you're not sure as you're working, just dust it off so you can get a good look. Remember, this file is sharp, so you gotta be careful. You don't want to cut yourself. I'm not doing no heavy filing. You don't see me running it back and forth like, you know, uncontrolled, because it's basically where it needs to be. I'm just finessing it to finish it off. All right. Using the e-file too can help if you built your acrylic way too bulky and you need to take down the bulk. If you don't want to do it with a hand file because it could take longer, the e-file is a good way to do that. But again, if you are building your nail a certain kind of way, meaning you're not building it bulky, you're building it to match the shape that you've already made, you don't have to worry about that excess because you would have laid it down to be as the nail requires, which means you don't have super bulk. But again, if you do, then just use your e-file to bring down the bulk or use the rough surface of the hand file to bring down the bulk. I'm not an anal person in the sense that my nails have to be perfectly shaped. I am aware of the realities that even if they are, I might stub my hand into my bag or into the wall or into my desk, and it could very well misshape my nail or break my nail. So I don't get trippy over its absolute perfection when it comes to the shape. I just make sure it's as symmetrical as it can be and as even as it can be, but it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, this hand is done. Okay, next one. Oh boy, the bane of this hand. When you are shaping your nails narrow, you can't just turn it in and it's you have to turn the file a certain way. And you gotta make sure it's angled a certain way. It's so fun. So get used to being uncomfortable or feeling uncomfortable during this process, but it'll give you the results in the end that you're looking for. And also because you have the cuticle bit that you used earlier, if you're feeling like your cuticle area is needs to be finessed even more, you can go in with that cuticle bit. Nothing is stopping you. So the hand file again, it may take a little bit longer, but if you don't have an e-file, it's doable still. You don't need to have one just to do your nails. Think back in the day when women used to get their nail done in salons, there was no e-files. They used to have to use hand files. I wonder how much longer their appointments took back in those days then. I also think when you are doing your nails live and you're explaining things or you're answering questions, it could take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. At least I'm getting them done and I'm holding myself accountable. The truth is, if I didn't come on here and do them live, they might not have gotten done at all. And so it's a part of my accountability, engagement in my channel to teach people how to do stuff, but also like holding myself accountable to making sure I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because you can get caught up in so much. All right. All right. Almost done. And I'm sure you notice I've turned my hand in so many different angles. It's not necessary to just do one way. You have to see your hand from all angles, your nail from all angles to make sure that you are able to shape it properly and get all the spots. This is me going around the cuticle. Now the nail surface. I had a spot here that was a little bulky. I don't know if you remember when I added the little bit of extra because of the see-through. You see the bulk is gone. I've eaten it out. Okay, I can get through this. I think I'm just gonna do polka dots. I don't feel like doing nail art. I didn't come out here for all of that. Okay, well, kind of. All right, nails done, hair done, everything did. All right, let's see where we're at. All right. All right, y'all. All done. Boom. That's my nails. After I have done my acrylic overlay, now it is time for some nail art. I don't want to take forever long to do it either, so let's move quick, fast. Move these items out of the way. Grab my lamp. And then I'm going to grab. Okay. Lamp is ready to go. I still don't really know what I'm doing here with these nails. Like, what am I doing, y'all? Am I doing color? So stressful. Okay, I think I'm gonna do just stripes because I don't want to do. I'm not trying to do nothing too heavy. I'll keep it 100. Like, I'm tired, and I just don't feel like putting color on all my nails like that. I don't know. I don't want to. You can come for me if you want to. I don't care. I'm gonna keep it simple.
I might even make it dots. We'll see what happens. Let's use one of these to give me some color here. Also, because I roughed up the surface, I don't have to put down a base coat. And I think I want shiny matte nails. Want to know how I'm going to achieve that? I'm going to start with matte top coat. And then I'm going to come through and put the colors on top of that. And then I'm going to make sure the colors are shiny and the matte's not. That's what I'm going to do. So I don't have to put down a base coat because I roughed up my surface, and this is acrylic. And basically it works with gel, so you don't have to put down a base coat if you don't want to. But I do want matte nails and not shiny. Or I should say the part that I want to be shiny will be, but I want a half matte, half shiny now. And if you remember in my last video, I talked about where your light is positioned versus where your product is positioned. Make sure you never turn your light on when you have your product in front of it, or it will cure your products. So make sure your products are always behind your lamp, not in front of your lamp. Yeah, this is gonna be a simple thing. I'm tired. Me no want bother with too much. We'll go blue, teal, yellow stripes and keep it like that. Simple. I could incorporate a white too to kind of be like your nail tech is a professional when they can open it with one hand. Just saying. Okay, I need something for the white. Okay, we'll start with blue. Literally just striping, y'all. I could do the blend thing, but I don't feel like doing that today. Marbling. Marbling is cute. But I'm just flash curing in between because these are not full nails, so I don't need to worry about it being like super dry. You know, these colors are not contrasting, meaning they'll blend into one another, but I'm okay with that. It's kind of the point. Maybe I'll throw the yellow in between. Mhm. All right, now we'll come with some yellow. Nail art is subjective, y'all. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nail art takes practice for some. Nail art comes easy to others. If you're an artist, I find it's easier. I do not have an artistic bone like that in my body. I'm an abstract artist. So for me, it's sufficient. I know the blue got drowned out, but that's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. I'll figure it out somehow. It's okay. And it's a full 60-second cure because I'm actually done and I don't want to come back onto this hand. Doing anything with the white though? Should I add something white? What I add? Just the white line? I don't even think I want to add a white line, but I'm going to because it's already here. I'm adding the line and I can't see where it's going, y'all. Line work is not easy.
I completely drowned out my blue, but it's okay. I still know it's there. It's too late, actually. Okay, done, done. I actually might make my nails shiny now that I think about it. Mm. Almost time for me to eat. Oh my gosh. Right? Gotta be done. All right. This is where we're at. I am only top coating the area that has the shine or the color because I don't want it on the matte part. I know it doesn't look matte now, but it will in a second. I could use an easier brush to do this, but why I gotta make my life so complicated? Why? Shoot, hold on, y'all. Let me grab this one. An alarm that's gonna go off in a second. Don't trip when you hear it. Hope it doesn't interfere with my feed either. But this hand is done. Simple. I don't want it to be complicated. I just need my nails done so that they are reset, refreshed, and the look is clean. The grow out was obviously way past this time, and I needed to refresh these nails. Don't let your nails go for so long without doing them, folks. 6 weeks is ridiculous. Real talks. Don't do that. 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks max can be accepted. But like beyond that, please, you're only hurting yourself. Don't do it, yo. I don't have to wipe this. My feet? Thanks. Okay. Anyways, I don't have to wipe the surface because it's not doesn't have an inhibition layer. But as you can see, I have a half matte, half shiny nail. Well, I hope you could see. Not half matte, but the color part
is shiny. I hope you could see that. Shit, my bad. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. We gotta finish because I gotta eat. My alarm went off. The trainer is gonna yell at me. So we're gonna cover this with a matte base, a matte top coat. Then we're gonna put the color on top of that. And then we're going to make sure that it stays matte as an entire nail and only the color part has the shine. You can get caught up doing this for hours, y'all. As I'm finishing up here, my channel is intended to help and support anybody that wants to learn how to do their nails. Yes, I am a professional nail tech, have been for over 8 years. I enjoy it. I have clients, I run a small business. I do all of the things, y'all. If you have questions about anything relating to nails, you are always welcome to ask because that's what I'm here for. It's better to have good resources and, people you can reach out to if you're uncertain to help you answer those questions. Sometimes you may not feel comfortable going directly to a source or whomever. You may not know somebody that does nails at all. They may not have the information. The point is, if you are interested or in learning or if you want to learn, I am here to teach you. I am willing to help and I am here to offer any support that you require. So don't hesitate to ask questions and reach out when it comes to your nail journey if you want to learn anything related to nails. Anybody that did pop in here today, you are very much appreciated. Thank you for supporting me, trying to hit those watch hours because your girl's trying to monetize this channel because I deserve it and it's time. I've been procrastinating and I'm not putting in my time and I'm seeing the results of that. So I need to do better. But while I am on this journey, oh wait, something else I read. While I am on this journey, my objective, oops, stop that. My objective is for sure to monetize my channel. But if I don't show up to it and give y'all something, how is that going to happen? So I have videos for you to enjoy. I'm going to start posting more nail content. Sometimes life happens and you gotta take a pause or you gotta reset, and that's okay. Take the moment to do what needs to get done, and then get yourself back on track. It's okay to have things interfere or get in the way or, um, pose challenge, so don't feel no ways. That was one. This is two. It's so interesting when you do your non-dominant or your opposite hand. Sometimes it's not as hard. All right, let's get the yellow. I guess because I'm not a perfectionist, it doesn't matter to me if some lines are thicker than others. How I forget a whole entire pinky though? Or did I? And it just wiped off. What just happened? Didn't I do this one first? Okay, maybe I did it. Maybe I did. I don't even know. Hopefully, I won't let it go too long. Maybe I could redo these again in 2 weeks, back on alive. I hope so, but we'll see. All right, the last round is going to be white. We're just going to go on the inside. My shaky lines. Oh my goodness. Once you're done with your stuff, cap it back, yo. Hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome back. It's all good, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. Trying to finish off this design. Got a little stuck, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it simple. I did a partially matte with some, I guess you can call them spring colors. Um, I hope your spaghetti tastes good. I could eat some right now. I gotta go eat. My alarm went off, and I'm just laying. Do they look Eastery? Did I achieve it? I felt like, I was gonna do the little lines to make them like eggs, and then I was like, nah, that's doing too much. I was like, that's doing too much. All right, last little bit. We're just gonna add top coat to the color so that the color shines, but the rest of the nail remains matte. And thank you for coming through, my girl. I hope I was entertaining. It's been a quiet day. Look, even though I'm just stroking this one little piece, look at how many times I'm doing it, yo. This can become really dangerous. I know I should do an Easter egg, right? I'm just like, should I? Oh, that's where all the white, that color went. I keep touching it. Um, I should do an Easter egg, but I'm too lazy now. You know what? I'm gonna come back on. Stop touching the nail, girl. I'm gonna come back on and do Easter nail design at some point, maybe this week, or maybe, ooh, sorry, or maybe next. No, I'll probably do it this week. Do Easter egg nail designs or something, because that is something that I haven't done. I can add that to my wall. Oh, why is the light so little? Or maybe if I can, I saw that collab, that duck, I think it's duck nail. I took a screenshot. I'm gonna see if I can jump in on that if I have enough time. Are you doing that one at all? The duck nails. I think it's with Stacy and Nails Adore. Duck nails. I think I saw it said. I have to check. I have to recheck my um the screenshot that I took, but I think it's for 5 nail designs. If anything you want, saying anything you want to say, or just 5 nail designs that are just whatever. Yeah, uncensored, whatever you want. So I think I might jump in on that just to put myself back into doing some nails because I've been procrastinating, doing other things. Just been busy. Life has been extremely busy. But we'll see. All right. Bam. Mm. Technically, don't need to do this because I don't have an inhibition layer, but I'm doing this to make sure that the matte is visible. Sometimes you do have to wipe the matte top coat to make sure it looks proper before you're done. And there you have it. Ooh, I think I like my refreshed nails. They're looking kind of proper, but you know what they need? Some oil and some lotion because my hands are dry.
That's amazing that you're having that growth. That's so awesome. You're not an Urkula. Oh, okay. Are you not gonna jump on? I don't know who's on it. I don't know how I don't know if like they decide who's. I thought they just said anybody could be on it, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna put this oil on my hands and watch. I'm gonna unmat my nails. Not intentionally, but hold on. Let me do this proper. Well, your cuticles, guys. That is where it starts. Basic nail care foundation. Oil them suckers out, okay? It's necessary. It will help with growth promotion. It helps keep your nails healthy. It helps protect against the water when you constantly use it. Oil your ish. Can't express that enough. But here we have it. Oh, okay, okay. I wasn't aware. All right, no worries. Nobody reads my chat anyway, so that's between me and you. Haha. Um, so here is my finished product, y'all. This is what I've done today after what you saw me do earlier. Here is me hoping that this is giving it justice. The lighting, the angles. I hope you can see. Let me see if I bring it close. Wait, hold on. If I bring it close, can you see my design? I have it. Bam. So I just did some spring colors as per the audience request. Thank you so much. And this is where I'm at. I'm gonna go check it out for sure. I'll jump on your channel as soon as I'm done here while I'm having my meal. But yeah, guys, doing your own nails is okay. Protecting your natural nails with an overlay or with gel or acrylic or gel polish, anything you use to make an enhancement to your natural nails. Don't feel no ways about it because, true say, um, sometimes you need it. Not everybody's nails grow the same, not everybody has the same nail strength. So it's important for you to use what you can or do what you can if you want to have good nail health, including using um, including enhancements. If that's where I was going, I got lost because I started reading. Listen, whatever you're doing to grow, it's amazing. Just keep it up. Like, same for me. I found like I have a healthy amount of subscribers. I'm very happy with where I've achieved so far. I do notice, however, because my content is mixed, it's not just about nails, that my subs will come from different areas, which I like, right? So I'm not just trying to have, like, as much as people say you should have a niche channel and should be related to one thing, my life is not one thing, so that's impossible for me. And I don't believe in having multiple channels at this time because I'm just getting started and I don't want to overwhelm myself with this idea that I have to keep up, keep up. I think that's how people get burnt out. So for my preference, one channel, which will cover a broad span of anything from nails, locks, life, and all the things in between, entertainment included. And yeah, yo, I appreciate anybody that came through today to watch me do my thing. I'll be back on a live soon because I'm gonna do some nail art for Easter. But this is where we're at. This is what we're working with, and this will last me at least for the next couple weeks. We'll see how long it takes for me to come back and do my new set. But I hope you like it, and I like it, and I'm gonna show you all the angles and all the spaces and places. I was able to keep my milky white look as well as add a little bit of spring color. But hugs to you too, Miss Tanya, and anybody else who joined me on this live. I appreciate it. I'm signing off until I catch you guys on the next one. Stay blessed. Deuces.